The 97th Academy Awards was quite the show. Brought us some cool moments and some forgettable ones, and I'm here to break them down. The overall show tallied just under 4 hours. I thought it was incredible how they included the video clips when announcing the nominees for each category. For some people who haven't watched some of these movies, it's cool to get a glimpse as to what these categories entail. But there was a 1-2 musical number that I could have done without. After all, this ain't the Grammys. I think the biggest surprise of the night is Anora taking home 5 awards as an independent film. Sean Baker's fingerprints were all over this one as he won for Best Original Screenplay, Best Editing, Best Picture, and Best Directing. And seeing how next year the Oscars will add in a new category, the casting, he would have won for that too because he actually did the casting himself. I mean, he did it all. I watched this film a few times and I really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's creative, it's effective, it's unpredictable, it's fun, it's entertaining. Sure, it's about sex workers, but it has so much more complex layers. It's like a modern day Pretty Woman meets an uncut gem with a New York thriller twist to it. A nice dark romance comedy with style. Sean Baker's speech hit home for me. He advocated for the movie-going experience, bringing attention to how that process is currently under threat and how watching movies at home is eroding the culture. Simply put, movies matter. And we gotta fight for the communal connection at going to see films at the theaters. Mikey Madison wins Best Actress for a leading role, and it's well deserved. Her performance was phenomenal. She was resilient, she was seductive, she was dramatic, and a great definition of the manipulation of power. People may be unfamiliar with her game as she was only in a small role in a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from Tarantino movie and also in the Scream series. But now, if you know, you know. I bet you're hip, because she is a problem and next up in Hollywood. It was difficult to see Demi Moore lose, especially after finally receiving a nomination for having such an illustrious and long career. This does not take away from the fact that she delivered and did her thing as an excellent performer in this film and as someone who has a great career. Conan O'Brien sent the tempo as a host. I rated it. He was good. He had a funny cold open coming out to Demi Moore's character. Now, his Drake joke was uncalled for and unnecessary, but hey, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to stay relevant. I really enjoyed his monologue, and he did a great job of making the room feel uncomfortable, which is what you want at these award shows. You want everybody to kind of feel light, loose, and on their feet. The beautifully stunning, talented Zoe Saldana finally won for supporting actress and gave an emotional speech, speaking about her immigrant parents and about her being a representation of her culture in this space. Despite not being the particular audience for the Emilia Perez film, as I didn't enjoy it, Zoe definitely did her thing in that movie, and she has such a great career in blockbuster films, but also some of those genre cult classic favorites. Adrian Brody became a 2-time Oscar winner. He gave an old school speech, and he actually clocked in at the longest speech ever delivered at the Oscars at just over 5 minutes and 30 seconds. His performance was incredible in The Brutalist, and the film was overall remarkable. I've been a fan of Brady since Succession and also some Wes Anderson films like The Grand Budapest Hotel. But I don't know if we should have gave him the win, man. It's hard to give someone who was assisted AI, no matter how minimal, a dub, because then what kind of precedence is this set for the future? I would have loved to see Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, or even Ralph Fiennes for Conclave get that award, or even possibly Timothée Chalamet, because we shouldn't be encouraging celebrating AI at an award show that's dedicated to celebrating film. Speaking of Timothée Chalamet, he is the young Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's clearly goated, and we've recognized that from a young age. But they're probably gonna make him work for it and get his Oscar sometime down the line. However, what an incredible year between Dune Part 2 and A Complete Unknown. You're telling me this guy didn't do his thing? Now let's get to the real stuff. These Dune Part 2 snubs were atrocious. But that's why I think when you decide to release your movie matters. Perhaps if it came out in September, October, November, around that time, people would still carry the momentum throughout it and it would dominate the awards. But I think people forgot about how great this film was on all accounts. Flow was good, but I would have went with The Wild Robot for the animated best film. I love James Bond, but the musical was unnecessary. Having someone outside of Adele sing Skyfall is criminal. Should be arrested, whoever made that decision. Anora won 5 awards, The Brutalist won 3, Dune Part 2, Wicked, and Emilia Perez won 2, and Conclave won 1. Is that what you predicted? I mean, I don't know. This Oscars was okay. I've seen better. Definitely excited for next year with the list of movies I know that are coming out this year. But let me know what y'all thought about the 97th Academy Awards. Subscribe for more TV and movie content at SceneDMs.